Hello, so today we are going to be talking about Forrest Buchtel's Falstaff. So Falstaff is actually a fictional character, a comedic one, that appears in multiple Shakespeare's plays. Falstaff has also appeared and is the name of an opera by Verdi, which is based off of one of Shakespeare's plays, which is slightly adapted. So because it's a comedic character, it kind of makes sense for the bassoon to be playing this part because we often can play comedic parts. The only thing that's really comedic about this, however, is just the dynamic contrast. We basically have soft and then loud, and it's just an immediate transition. So that's the only part that really makes it comedic. So therefore, we really want to make sure it stands out. So that's one of the things that we'll talk about today. Today it's actually pretty short. We only have two things. One's a notational, which I'll start off, and then we'll lead into the dynamics. So, notational. In measure 17, there's actually a part that's missing from this. The half note on a D should have a dot after it, making it a dotted half note and therefore 3 full beats. Because currently what we have, which is a half note and 2 eighth notes, only gets us to 3 beats when we need 4, so we're missing one. So you're going to take your pencil and you're going to mark that in so you make sure you play it for 3 full beats. Okay, dynamics. So one of the things about this piece I've noticed is that students sometimes like to start this off too quiet. So it means that they come in with a little bit of a weak sound, not enough air support, and the notes don't really speak when you want them to. There's a delay in the tone and a delay in the sound, and it kind of sounds a little thin or weak, which is definitely not comedic. We want to have a nice full sound even though it's quiet, which you can do with proper air support. So, how do you use proper air support? In this piece, it's really crucial whenever you have a piano to, one, make sure to use a good full 4 measures. You know, they have these little breaths marks written in for us, which is great. So follow those because it makes us really project a long airstream, which will make us activate our core, which is something that will help us with our dynamics. So what do I mean by activating our core? So in our diaphragm, in an area where our muscles are, to help with the control of our airstream, we're going to want to tighten that. So the best way I could describe it is just pretend that you're ready to do a sit-up. So the muscles that you would feel to do a sit-up, so you're crunching upwards. Those muscles are the ones you're going to want to tense up, the ones you're going to want to push on as support for this entire thing. So essentially, this is just going to be one long push-up. Have fun. So how do we do this? You're going to have to practice this a little bit. You're going to have to make sure to practice with support. Good way of doing it, without playing the piece, play a few notes with just your left hand. So a C, a D, and an E. And put your right hand right on your core. So right on under your rib cage, right above your belly button. And then feel your muscles tense as if you were going to do a sit-up. So those muscles are tense. That's going to be really crucial for this entire thing so that you can have the notes speak when you want to, particularly the low G. That note, or a high leap, so a G to a G, one of the notes might not speak if we don't have the proper air support. So when obviously you do the loud, you're also going to need some good air support there as well. Just make sure you don't crack on the other end, which means notes aren't coming out cleanly. So that's really it for today. So quick review. Measure 17, make sure to add a dot to the half note so it becomes a dotted half note and therefore 3 full beats. As well, number 2, make sure to support your pianos. So make sure to have a nice long crunch or sit up with your diaphragm the entire time you're playing piano dynamic, so all the notes come out when you want them to in a nice full tone. Have fun with this comedic piece. Go practice.